Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. If you got a phone, please put it on silent.
Yes, sir.
And Commissioner Reed, it is your turn for the prayer, should you choose.
I will just take a moment of silence. Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vanessa. All righty. Moving on, it's roll call time. Commissioner Reed, I'll start with you.
Here.
Mr. Culberson?
Here.
Commissioner Stephen?
He's not there.
He's not here yet. Commissioner Smith here and Commissioner Dove?
Here.
All right. Okay, we have public comments. This is the time the audience gets to address the governing body. If you'd like to come before us, please come to the podium, raise your hand. You got 5 minutes to talk on whatever you'd like to. I know I saw someone back there. Yes, ma'am. I'll get you next. Okay? She was quicker than you, even with a bad arm. Good morning.
Good morning. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to allow me to speak. My name is Jessica, and I am here to formally request that the county install a four-way stop at the intersection of 211th and McIntyre. This intersection has become increasingly dangerous for drivers with more traffic, poor visibility, and increased speeds due to the dust abatement roads. The main concern is the high number of near misses and accidents over the years. These are largely due to poor visibility and drivers misjudging the right-of-way. Currently, the intersection only has a two-way stop and poor signage. I speak not only as a resident of the corner, but as a bus driver who navigates the intersection multiple times a day. I have spoken with the residents in the area and those who drive in the area. A few of them are here with me today, as well as a signed petition that I will leave with you. I propose a four-way stop as a cost-effective and immediate way to reduce collisions, slow traffic, and protect road users. It would bring much-needed clarity to the intersection and demonstrate the county's commitment to public safety.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we got a couple of speakers, then we're going to address that in a little bit. Okay, thank you for coming out. Yes, sir. Come on down. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Tom Putoff. I live at 113 South Village Terrace in Tonganoxie. I'm here to echo the words that Jessica just spoke about the intersection at McIntyre and 211. I drive a special needs van for our school district, and I drive through there every day. It's a mess. I mean, the visibility is almost zero when you're coming from the north, coming from the south and headed north, because of the cornfield that sits right there. The corn grows up in the early spring, and the visibility is down to zero. I really believe there should be a four-way stop at that intersection, and I hope that you will take this into account. And I'd like to see the county be proactive instead of reactive, because we already had one fatality with a school bus a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I would really hope that you would get on this matter. I appreciate your time.
Appreciate your time. Mark? Yeah.
I think we're having some issues with our dial-in, so Commissioner Stephen is on my phone.
Okay.
So I'll let you know. You can hear us, right, Commissioner?
Oh.
Well, he was here. Hey, Mike, are you still on?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
He's on that train.
Okay. Yeah. I want to make one little remark before you go to the next public comment. Is I understand from Mr. Knoll that they do have the engineer working on a study on this intersection, and it's very important to me that this gets resolved. Thanks.
Hey, Mark, I brought this up to you last week, I believe, and I know you guys jumped on it. Is there any update we can give? I know you guys have been looking at that. Bill, do you have anything to comment on that, or Mark, either one of you, so these folks can walk away with something on this?
Yeah, I can speak to this topic. So we had received a public request for to look into this intersection, and it's been an intersection that has come up in the past due to that fatality accident. And so we went ahead and had our engineer consultant firm, Olson, we asked them to return some analysis to us in a recommendation within the next 30 days,
Okay.
which has been probably 2 weeks ago. And so within the next 10 days, probably, we are assuming we'll have that. If it does come forward with the recommendation of a four-way stop, that would immediately come before the Board of Commissioners for your approval. If it doesn't, then we'll maybe need to get a second opinion if everybody is in agreement with that course of action. There's a chance that we would need to remove a little bit of asphalt on the southeast corner of that intersection in order to have the stop sign placed at the right location, because there is a bit of a radius there. But we will be bringing that back before you. As you guys are aware, stop signs are regulated by federal and state statute, not local decisions.
Yep.
And so we are following the proper state process for a regulatory sign, which does require us to have that engineering stamped document prior to that coming before the Board of County Commission.
Right. Well, I appreciate what you're doing. This is one that I think has been a priority. As long as I've been in public service, been a long time. That's been an issue. So if we can get something back in 10 days or 2 weeks to go forward, at least get a thought, because I really believe we're going to have to do something with that before we continue to have some of the mishaps we've had. So I appreciate you jumping on that, and we expect something back from me in about 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioners, anyone else have anything on that? Okay, so folks, we'll be getting something back to you as soon as that report gets back to us. 2 weeks to deadline, okay? All right, anybody else in the audience would like to speak? Okay, if not, we'll move on to administrative business. I'm going to speak first. A week or two ago, y'all voted on a Port Authority thing, asking for their $500,000 back from them to return to us. I hand carried this letter to them about a week ago, whatever. Yesterday at the Port Authority meeting, it was unanimous, and I supported not returning that money back to the county. And the reason I did was twofold. First of all, I think we're doing a harm till we get this figured out how we're going to do it. The second is, I do not like how it was brought up so quickly and then voted on. Whenever you do something quickly, we don't have time to think about it. We don't have time to bring people up that has a different view on it. So at this time, the cities that are on it too, plus everyone that's a part of the board out there, voted against it. On a positive note, after the meeting, I was still talking to them during the meeting about putting an executive person, county rep from the board on that board, and at least I'm getting some conversation back with it now. Where it's going to go, I don't know. But I wanted to make sure y'all knew how I handled that. I know it wasn't the way they voted, but as an elected official, I voted what I thought was best for right now. That doesn't mean that in the future, if we had time to discuss this, I wouldn't look at this differently. But I wanted to bring that up so y'all know where I stood on this. Mark, do you have anything before I start on the room?
The county clerk is here as you asked me to.
Oh, yeah.
Request. She agreed to come up, and so if you want to give her a minute.
County clerk, coming up. It's good to see you this morning.
You do. Well, there's not a lot to report to you this morning. Just we did have national voter registration yesterday. Was the day for that? We did get several more voter registration. We're up to about 57,000 registered voters in Lombard County. Other than that, we're just working on getting ready for our school and city election in November, and that's about it.
You know, we were talking earlier before the meeting, is that, and all of us have said this over and over again, folks, come out and vote. Your vote does make a decision. I've seen one or two votes carry an election one way or the other. And as my dad used to say, if you don't vote, don't come to me and complain. Get yourself out there and make your vote known. It's not a hard thing. They make it so easy. Get involved and help us with what y'all think. Anyway, I appreciate you coming up today. Mark, did you have anything? Vanessa, you're next on the hit parade. Go ahead.
Let's see. Well, it's been lots happened since we met last, I feel like. But I was just going to ask what the appropriate number of residency is for Leavenworth County. Is it 84 population? Does anybody have a certifiable answer?
I think that gets updated each July by the state. I don't remember the exact number last time, but between 84 and 85,000.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So
Yep.
we're missing.
What was that question? I'm sorry.
We're missing 30,000 isn't exactly right, but a rough estimate
I
of
see what
people
you're
that
going at.
aren't
Okay.
voting that live in the county.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Well, there's kids.
Yeah. I don't know. That's why I was asking for like adult numbers on that.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
we don't want anyone under the age of 18 voting.
No, we don't. You have anything else, Vanessa?
No, that's it.
Okay. Jeff?
I don't have anything.
I've already said my piece. Willie, you have anything?
I had the opportunity to visit with the Leavenworth County Farm Bureau yesterday, and they were very much interested in finding out how they could help the commission and get things done.
Good.
And so they would send us their itinerary of when they're having their meetings, and I said that someone would be happy to represent the commission if they give us a summary of when those things are happening.
Okay.
And they were very nice to us.
Good.
So
I like that.
We'll see what happens.
Okay. Commissioner Stephen, you with us? He's on that train. Okay.
What was it?
Okay, there he is. Mike, do you have anything?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing else, we'll go to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
Motion second. Any discussion? Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
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 Aye. Mike, what's your vote?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, going to formal board action. Need to consider a motion to approve the agreement with KDOT for an innovative, can't even pronounce it, technologies program grant for project 52C5380-01 for the purchase of a laser cleaning machine. Your turn again, Bill.
Commissioners, today for your consideration is the KDOT agreement for the Innovative Technologies Program Grant. It is Project 52C 5380-01, and it is for the purchase of a laser cleaning machine. It's an exciting announcement from me personally. It's one of the few KDOT grants that we never have seemed to be able to find qualifying purchases for. This purchase is very innovative. In fact, they've asked us if we do move forward with this program to give a presentation at the KAC, the Kansas County Highway, and Vance Brothers has reached out to us. It is a laser cleaning machine. These had historically, over the past 5 years, been out in the private sector for very specialized uses and cost in excess of $100,000. The price of these machines has come down significantly, and what they do is they replace sandblasting, and they also replace degreasers. And so you can clean rust from any surface. You can remove paint from any wood surface. You can remove stain from any wood surface. But what the county is going to actually save a lot of money on is hopefully it will be used to clean our distributor. And so if you have a metal surface that is coated in some sort of tar like the distributor, it should vaporize that tar right off of the distributor bar, and that's what Vance Brothers is highly interested in. Currently, they actually climb inside tanks and use caustic materials, different chemicals to clean those distributors off, and the different bars. We buy chemical by the tote in order to do that, but this should eliminate that process if it works as the videos that we have watched show that it works. We'd also probably use this extensively on our sanders. Our sanders are chain driven, and then they have the spinner. But as you guys know, they become corroded very easily, and they're not easy to get apart. So this machine would allow you to have the equivalent of a sandblasted part without removing that part from the machine. And so we should be able to use it to clean off all of the moving parts on the sanders as needed, and try to extend the life of those machines without having breakdowns. And so it has a multitude of uses, and it is extremely innovative. And as far as I know, there isn't anybody out there that currently has one of those from a city, county, or even private business in the area that I'm aware of. And so I'm excited to try it out, and we're going to, if we do move forward, we're going to have a whole lot of interest, because to buy a tote of cleaner for a distributor is not cheap. So it should pay for itself.
Good savings, it looks like. It also, it's a budgeted item, and this 75% or $15,000 of it was by a grant you applied for?
Yeah, 75%, $15,000 is the maximum amount that they will cover. The prices of these vary up to about $20,000 currently, and so we need to hit a price purchase that's up to $15,000. We have to go over that in order to hit our 25% match. That will not be an issue.
Gotcha. Okay. Commissioner, you got any questions on that? Jeff?
Nope, I've used these. They work.
I have
I've
one.
used them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
think you've used it.
anything. Paint, rust. Yep.
Anything, what I've seen.
And the cost is the big deal, because when you have to buy media for media blasting, sandblasting,
Yeah.
either silicone or sand.
Yeah.
You got this. You don't buy anything.
I know, that's when it caught my attention. Willie, do you have something?
Yes. Could that machine also be used for the rust on our bridges?
For what?
Rust on the
Rust
bridges?
on the bridges.
It could be used for rust on the bridges. I don't know. You need to paint it afterwards. It depends on the type of steel you use. I mean, it would definitely take the rust off 100%. Some of the surface rust is there. Some of the bridges have a steel that kind of seals it, and so if you took that rust completely off of them, then your pitting would get deeper because you've taken off the surface rust. So we need to be very careful about where we use it in order to ensure that it was the proper use of that. If you were going to paint the bridge with a coating after you took it off, you would certainly want to take that rust off with this type of machine. But it will take rust off of anything. I would assume that buildings and grounds will probably use this as well, because it will. If you turn it down, it will perfectly strip wood of any paint or stain or polyurethane, and not burn the wood surface. It just vaporizes it. So it has a lot of uses throughout the county.
Thank you.
Technology is changing so much. Mike, do you have any comments on this?
No, I'm excited about Bill getting this and being able to.
Good. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the agreement with KDOT for an Innovative Technologies Program grant for the project 52C 538001 for the purchase of a laser cleaning machine.
Motion, a second. Any more discussion? Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mike? Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, next item. Go ahead, Mike.
Chairman, I would just like to follow up with Bill a second and just, I wanted to compliment him. I apologize for not being there today. I was kind of called out of town emergency with the railroad. But I want to compliment Bill again for the over $1 million in grants that he's been able to achieve for the county for various road projects that we have going in the county. And specifically, Bill, I'd like you to address the part that you played in the obtaining of the grant project money through March, dealing with the 155th Street project and some of the Baker grant project. Could you reflect on your role and the committee you were on and the motion you made?
Certainly. The 155th Street project was for a county roadway. It was developed by the city of Basor. The city of Basor submitted that application. It did go to the Mid-America Regional Council Surface Transportation Committee. At that Surface Transportation Committee, we helped defend and present that grant application in order for them to receive funding. There was discussion at length about the population of the city of Basehor versus the population of some of the communities in Johnson County, and whether or not they should receive that year's lion's share of the funding. And so we were successful and made a motion. We received a second and got a vote, and we were able to get that funding. Mayor Brewer at the time came to the meeting, thanked us for our participation, and really helping them out with the presentation portion of that. And then the county approved $2 million of funding for that project that I believe came from the ARPA funds. And that project moved forward, and that helped cover their matching cost. And so we were part of that work session, and the board did vote and approve that.
And you, just to underline this, you represent the county on this committee, and you made the motion for the grant to be accepted, correct?
Yes, in that grant, I did make that motion.
Okay, I just wanted to kind of reflect on that and express appreciation for all these grants, and especially the participation in these grants that were given to the county and the community, Basehor and communities in the South, and appreciate the work that Bill and the county has done in achieving those budgets.
I would add that with the Mid-America Regional Council, much like the Ike Transportation Program, it takes a very collaborative effort from all communities within a jurisdiction in order to get those grants. Basehor does a great job of putting together a aligned project, is what they're called, and they score well, and then it takes everyone working together. All the communities that have a representative on that board do get a chance to vote. I think there's 60 voting members if you take all the Johnson County and Kansas City, Kansas communities and combine.
And so that is true. We all work together, and that's the goal with all of these organizations like MARC or regional council committees or any kind of work we do together with the economic development entities of the county. We all are trying to collaborate and work together. That's the goal for all of us, and I just wanted to bring this up and express appreciation for all of that grant money that we did receive, and it's hard work and it is collaboration, and everybody does work together, and it's much appreciated. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Okay, let's move on to B. Consider a motion to approve the purchase of a roadside boom mower tractor from Heritage Tractor in the amount of $210,154.
Commissioners, today for your consideration is the request for approval of purchasing a new roadside boom mower tractor from Heritage Tractor. As you guys are aware, we have one boom mower tractor that is up for its replacement cycle. As a part of this process, we did look at what all our options are because we do get a lot of calls about tree trimming, and we are trying to maintain for every mile of road you have 2 ditches. So we have 1,700 miles of ditches that we are trying to keep the vegetation off of. So we looked at all of our options. We did look at a timber jack type of a piece of equipment that is it's like a sky jack with a brush hog arm extension that would work better on embankments, and sometimes they do work on tree clearing for lumber operations. And then we did bid tractors. So the tractors were considerably cheaper by about $140,000.
Gotcha.
The John Deere 6M 125 tractor was the low bid of $210,154. We had multiple bids of different types of tractors. These tractors, we currently have a New Holland tractor that will be replaced. I think that the timberjack would clear a lot more vegetation further from the road and have a much larger reach. I didn't feel that I can justify a $145,000 purchase in excess of the low bid before you today. But I wanted to show that we are looking at all of our options, and it's just cost of doing business is high.
Questions?
No.
Mike?
No, I don't have any
any questions.
That's a first. Okay.
Ready for a motion?
Yeah, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the purchase of a roadside boom mower tractor from Heritage Tractor in the amount of $210,154.
A motion and a second. Any more discussion? Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Mike?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, next item is, just stay seated, Bill. Consider a motion to approve a revised 5-year capital improvement plan for a road and bridge improvement projects. Your turn again.
Yes. Commissioners, today for your consideration is the capital improvement plan. As you guys are aware, we did review this back in June, and it was approved. Since then, we've had some failures of a bridge. It's a T-beam bridge on Parallel Road just north of the city of Tonganoxie. Those bridges were built through a period of time as a low-cost alternative bridge type structure. The issue with those bridges, the weak link in those bridge designs and what lowered the cost of them is the deck thickness is only 6 inches. And so we had a pothole in that bridge. That pothole eventually worked its way deep enough that a truck went across that bridge and the pothole fell out of the bottom. We made the repairs to that bridge and subsequently put steel plates over it and lowered the weight limit down to 10 tons, which still allows, it's the lowest possible for a school bus to cross, but our bridge engineer deemed it a 10 or 12 ton weight limit bridge. And so we erred on the side of caution and went with 10 tons. So I will review how I went about shifting projects in order to come up with the $1.3 million that bridge replacement will cost. But before I do that, I wanted to note where we're at currently on our chip and seal schedule. We are behind on that, and I think that is an important part of the CIP is we need to maintain the roads that we currently have. So currently we had, as of last week when I created this, had staff create this map with me, we had completed 58.41 miles. We are attempting to complete another 26.60 miles, but we are behind schedule. Since I've been here, we've always completed over 100, up to 118 miles a year of chip and seal. But we worked extensively on dust abatements. The demand for dust abatements from the public, and then the shift of completing dust abatement projects with county crews for the projects up north took a tremendous amount of time, and we had a very wet early summer period. So it slowed us down quite a bit. But right now we have anticipated that we will not complete 20.8 miles of that chip and seal maintenance. We have to get that maintenance done while the temperatures with the current oil are 60 degrees and rising. We can purchase a more expensive oil that has a higher polymer percentage, and we can get down to 50 degrees and rising. But the window to complete these projects is quickly closing for the dust abatements. So we've done the mainline roadways in the county, in the south third. We break the county down into thirds each year, and we are working on the south third. So we started with all of the county routes and high traffic collector roadways. And so the mainline roadways is what we often refer to them as, are going to get completed. What we aren't getting completed is the interior roadways and subdivisions. It is unlikely that we're going to get to those subdivision roadways. We generally try to get the main lines, and then we start back at the first subdivision, and we work from subdivision to subdivision and try to knock out those roadways because they have less traffic. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are in better shape than the mainline roadways. They handle a lower volume of traffic. So there are some subdivisions that have some asphalt failures and some different work that's being completed, but anytime that we're completing the number of miles of dust abatements that we did this past year, and we are going to be behind schedule on patching. We did not do a significant amount of overlay work on some of the roads that we would have normally done. But I wanted to bring that to your attention as a part of this because I didn't want to come back in after the fact while here at the end of the year and state that, hey, by the way, we did not get some of this maintenance completed. I wanted to be forthright and upfront that there are a certain number of working days that the counties can complete these projects, and we are currently behind schedule. And the concern with that is it's deferred maintenance. So the more you defer maintenance, the faster and more the road degrades, and then the cost of repairs increase. And so I wanted to just be forthright with you here today and be upfront that we are behind schedule, and we are going to work until the temperatures don't allow us to work anymore. But we do not want to get below that 50-degree mark with the MS 300 oils. MC, sorry, 300 oils. So we have some cost comparisons that I've prepared if the commissioners wanted those for if we contracted some of this maintenance in the future. But more back to the CIP as it was prepared for you here today. What we did to accomplish the current CIP is we shifted a bridge replacement project that was scheduled for 2026 to 2027, and then we moved the dust abatement projects that the board voted on for 2026 from the 220 highway fund to the 171 sales tax fund. And so, as you guys are probably aware, but I want to make sure the public knows, the special highway fund is funded through the mill levy. It is a reserve transfer that occurs every year at the end of the year. It is a budgeted transfer into the reserves in order to pay for projects. Those are usually maintenance projects on bridges or maintenance projects on roads primarily, and then the sales tax fund is generally only allocated to new construction projects. So your 158th Street, your grant matches, County Route 30 match, those projects that are new construction come out of the sales tax funds. And so we have those two categories, and then we have the township funds. And so we shifted the dust abatements over to the sales tax and shifted the project for the bridge replacement to 2026, or from 2026, to 2027. That left us about $300,000 short of being able to pay for that bridge. We always have a little bit of contingency because we don't know exactly what each board will approve for the equipment reserve transfer, and we don't know if all of our estimates, we can't foresee inflation. We did 5 years ago, if you look back at the CIP, we would not have projected the bridge cost to increase exponentially in the manner that they have. The same with some of the construction of the roads. And so we're always working, this is a working document, but we had a little bit of money that I was able to shift around and down through the entire sales tax. So now we are running it right at zero. We always like to leave a little bit of money there in case these projects, they aren't designed, so we don't have true engineers' estimates. We have current costs based on KDOT bid tabs. And so right now we are going to be running that very low to pull that $300,000 out of there. But we can always bid one project at a time. We don't have to bid multiple projects. So we would know ahead of time where we stand financially, and we can shift projects as needed and delay them a few months or even 6 months if we needed to. But where we could have projects come in low, in which case we would be able to fulfill every single one of them. But right now we are running that down to pretty much no reserve there in the T20 fund through the end of the CIP. Be happy to answer any questions you have.
Mark, you have anything to say on that?
I think Bill probably did a good job of explaining everything in there. One thing that's not necessarily part of the CIP, but we want to bring up today is that we're behind on the maintenance, which is very important that we keep up on. And there's really no way to get caught back up unless you, one, contract it out, pay somebody else to do it, or two, one of the things that Bill and I have talked about is maybe putting the participatory dust abatement program on hold for 1 year. And that's the program where people can sign up and pay for a portion of it. We subsidize it, but our crews go out and do that. So if we put that participatory section on hold for a year, that would hopefully let them get caught up next year on the 20 miles. Probably we're going to be short this year. Is that about right?
I mean, it would help anytime we reduce the new construction that we're doing. We have to wait. We can start asphalt work earlier in the season than we can chip and seal because of the temperature requirements of chip and seal. But we could do patching work in all those subdivisions instead of if we were going to suspend that program for 1 year. But there's all types of programs out there that we could do, but in the maintenance cycle.
Go ahead, Jeff.
So we do.
Mr. Chairman?
Hold on just a second, Mike. Jeff speaking.
Oh, go ahead, Mike.
Okay, Mike, go ahead.
Hey, I'm going to have to drop off, but on this issue, I support staff recommendation, whatever, I support their recommendation. And on the other issue, the efficiency discussion, if it would be okay with the rest of the members, I'd like to move that back 2 weeks.
Yeah, I have no problem with that.
If that's all right.
You guys have a problem moving that back for 2
No.
weeks? Okay, Mike, Mark, you can
Drop off.
schedule that. We're going to move that back 2 weeks, Mike.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Jeff?
What I was going to say is we do a third of the county each year, right, for the chip and seal maintenance program.
Yes, that's
So I was going to suggest maybe if you didn't think it would hurt, go to a fourth of the county a year instead of a third. Do a fourth of the county chip and seal each year, and on top of put a moratorium on the self-paid roads for a year. Is what I was going to suggest.
Mark?
Is that
Well,
would going to 4 years? Would that put us behind? I mean, I know that 3 years is what we recommend on the chip and seal cycle to try to keep the roads from falling apart. Would going to 4 create a problem for us? Or
I think going to 4 on subdivisions isn't. That's why we leave those to the last if we're not going to get them done because they're lower volume roadways. Typically, they last longer. Some of them were originally chip and seal roadways and didn't have an asphalt base underneath them, so those degrade faster. So every subdivision, depending on the standards required at the time, isn't created equal. But that would be what we would do is we'd focus on the mainline roads and then try to get the subdivisions phased out to 4 or even 5 years if they're newer. You shouldn't have to. Now, we haven't seen this in reality, but you shouldn't have to do any chip and seal maintenance on a new subdivision for 7 years. But what we're seeing is some of these asphalts are cracking after all the construction activity. If you're building 27 homes or something in a subdivision, that's a lot of truck traffic to build all those homes. And so what we're seeing is they do need that seal to keep the water from getting in the base and having potholes.
there's only so much money that we have to, and it sounds like that'd be workable, Bill, Mark, what Jeff.
It's the only thing. It's the only way I can see to do more with less.
Yeah.
But as long as you think that the diverted maintenance wouldn't cause a
Willie, what do
big
you
problem
think
down the
about
road.
I understand what Commissioner Culverson's saying, and I'm like 90% yes, because if we don't have it, we cannot spend it. And if we're extending it out instead of every 3 years to every 4 years, perhaps we can get a break in the weather, but who knows?
Yeah, I think you're right on that too, because it's an opportunity to. We don't want to do like previous boards have done and get trying to play catch up, which we've done a lot of catch up lately in the last few years. But I think in this case, it's probably a smart move to do it. But well, if you're okay with that, Vanessa, what do you think?
Yeah.
I got a question for Bill.
Go ahead.
On how much does it actually cost us within your best guess to make that work?
To make which portion of this work? I'm sorry.
On a 3-year basis and then on a 4-year basis.
Oh, well, it'd be just the reduction of. Well, we're going to try to do the entire extent next year. It would be our goal and get all of the patching caught up because we're going to need to. Even if we go to a 4-year, a 4-year would be catching these subdivisions up and then maybe reducing some in the north. But next year we will probably still aim for the 100 miles of 105 miles because we'll want to do the third that we would, or the fourth that we would be doing next year. We'll do a new map, but we'll want to catch up what we didn't get done this year, next year, and then do the quarter. So it really won't change next year's maintenance amount.
It'll take 2 years to catch up.
It'll take a year to catch up, and then we could reduce it down to 25%.
Okay.
And that's what I had in mind.
It's workable, yeah.
Instead of start pushing.
So if we're going to suspend that program now, there will be public demand. I would assume there is. We have calls about that program weekly, and it has filled up every single year that I have been here.
Yeah.
It's just they are getting longer. We paved 1.5 miles in one location. This resident paid for this.
So the shorter ones we used to do, yeah.
It's a good program. It's just we just need to put it on hold for a year and see if we can get caught up on what we are behind.
Priorities, yeah.
I think that's probably a good plan. Bill, you said you had some numbers. What's the difference in contracting that out, the additional cost versus our crews?
Well, based upon the numbers that we came up with for the dust abatement roadways, if we had the contractor responsible for base preparation, taking our gravel road and adding some gravel to it and getting compaction on that, which is the only way that we could require a warranty on their work, and I think it would be in the county's best interest to have some sort of warranty. But if the county prepared the base, you couldn't just warranty the asphalt because it would be easy for a contractor to say, well, the reason asphalt failed is because the base failed. And so the numbers for a prepared base and 6 inches of asphalt on average, which is the original dust abatement specifications, they went to a 10-inch cement treated base with 4 inches of asphalt, but the original dust abatement group was 6 inches of asphalt on a gravel road surface, basically compacted aggregate base, is $575,370 a mile. And for reference, when the county crews did it, the cost of the materials was approximately $243,000 a mile.
Big difference.
And so if you factor in labor, you're going to see that significant difference. But that labor cost is going to be spent on maintenance instead of new construction. And so you're going to have those employees working whether they're on dust abatement roadways or not. So the difference, the savings, or the additional cost would be approximately $270,000, $250,000 per mile. It about doubles, or more than doubles a little bit.
And the last time we did this, we did contract it out. I don't remember the number of years ago, 5-6 years ago, we contracted out, and we had trouble with it. It did not work out very well for the county when we contracted out because it's kind of a unique application process. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea that it is possible we could contract it out, but it would not be our recommendation.
Yeah, it would cost double or more.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
To have someone else do it.
And there's no warranty on the work.
Well, you would have a warranty at that cost.
At that cost?
At that cost,
Yeah, but we've seen how some warranties work too.
Yeah, and we've seen how that usually ends with Misty being involved. But the other thing is we looked at the cost of contracting chip and seal, and it's about approximately $10,000 to $12,000 more per mile. So if you contracted the 20 or 30 miles of chip and seal, it would cost the county about $300,000, $350,000 more to have that contracted work done than if the county crews were doing it.
So your recommendation is to have the county do the work instead of us contracting it out?
Well, it becomes extremely expensive.
Yeah.
We're going to have to look at some mill and overlay projects in our CIP in the coming years because we do have some roads that are washboarding really badly. West Eisenhower Road, for instance, that road has become very rough. Parts of MC are very rough. Fairview has sliding of the asphalt. Currently, we do not have any mill and overlay projects in the CIP except for Fairmount Road in 2028, I believe.
Yeah. I'm hearing more and more about the roads.
Yeah, you will. You'll continue. Hopefully, that's the county. That's it. Hey, Bill, I got a real big issue that I hope you can fix. I'm getting old, and some of this print and some of this paper, unless you're going to give me a magnifying glass, would you please try to make it on 2 pages or something? Even with my glasses.
Do the 11 by 17.
It's 11 by 17 down in my office, so I have them all printed. I can bring them
Well,
up.
that's good, because when I'm looking up here going,
We did that on purpose. I put my roads really small.
I knew Jeff was behind this somehow. Just to make sure. I'm just kidding, but if you guys could enlarge that, I'd appreciate it. Do we have anything on this before we go for a motion? If not, I'll consider a motion.
I just wanted to say one thing.
Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Before we get to that point. So
Yeah.
if you could take that. pass
Yeah.
it down. Since we're talking about the CIP, I always want to make sure I put a plug in there.
There you go.
So this shows you how much we've spent historically on the CIP over the whole county for the last 20 years, 25
I think I've seen
years.
this before.
Yeah, so this is how much money has been spent in each district for the last 20, 25 years. In District 2, we spent $15 million almost on roads and bridges. In District 3, we spent almost $30 million. In District 4, we spent $11 million. In District 5, we spent $22 million. In my District 1, we've spent $6 million. So I created a map, you can see there, and I highlighted in orange all the gravel roads that have been paved in the last 25 years. And if you notice something about the map, none of them hardly are in the north end of the county. They're all in the rest of the county. So every time we do a CIP, I just want to make sure I point out that we need to catch up the north end of the county. They pay the same taxes, same sales tax that everybody pays in the south end of the county, but they have definitely not been treated the same way. So this CIP that we're adopting today, we put in there, I think, $500,000 a year for the new plan when Bill came up with the idea to use steel bridges instead of concrete and save some money in some other areas. So there's a dust abatement category in each year. We're doing a road in my district this year, and we have earmarked a road in my district next year. But after that, there isn't any. So what I'm asking for is that you please remember, and the last board was in agreement of this also, we're trying to catch up the north end of the county to make it fair so that they get something for their tax dollars when we talk about gravel roads. So that's all I had to say.
Well, I think I supported that, and I think the past county commissioners have supported that and trying to get some more funding up there. And I'm glad we was able to do one, really two, because of the way it zagged. So
yeah, we've come a long way because, like I said, it was headed the wrong direction before, so at least we're headed in the right direction now.
Anybody else, any comments on that?
We'll wait until the CIP's done.
Bill, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
If not, I'll make a motion that we approve the revised 5-year capital improvement plan for the road and bridge improvements project.
Second. Motion and second. Vanessa?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you, Bill. Okay.
Commissioners, before we move on to the next one, can we just formalize the delay, setting aside the participatory dust abatement project, because that is a policy that we have, and so we just need the board to take action to set that policy aside for 1 year.
So moved.
Second. Do we need to say it, Mark?
I think we can.
You got that covered? Okay. We can't follow all this technical stuff you guys go, so it's easy to second it. Any more discussion on that? No. Vanessa?
No.
Aye.
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 Okay. All righty. Next item, presentation and discussions. We're down to,
We said one more.
where are we at?
Section D.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did. Consider a motion to approve the design and construction engineering contract with Finney and Turnip Seed for the replacement of Bridge T50 located on Stranger Road. Bill?
Commissioners, now that we have gotten through the CIP portion, we do have the design and construction engineering contract with Finney and Turnip Seed for the replacement of T50. This is a two-part contract for both those construction engineering and design services and geotechnical borings that are completed. This cost of $57,800 is extremely reasonable. We have previously priced these type of bridge design projects out and gotten prices back between $250,000 and $375,000. This firm has always, by a factor of 3 or 4 or 5, been the low-cost alternative, and they have recently been a little bit behind schedule because they are doing the engineering and the inspection on the Polk Quincy Viaduct. which is a huge project that you guys are probably aware of in Topeka. But this is an emergency replacement, and I think with the cost savings that they offer, we will continue to work with them and move these projects forward. We have not missed any deadlines. It's just they're pretty well stretched thin right now, but I think that they have committed to this, and they said that they would have no problem getting it done so we can bid this project by late fall next year and have it be a winter project.
Well, it failed, so
Yeah.
not a lot of options here. Commissioners, your thoughts?
Not yet.
Okay, Jeff? Does he have anything on this? Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion then.
Consider a motion to approve the design and construction engineering contract with Finney and Turnipseed for the replacement of Bridge T50 located on Stranger Road.
Second.
Motion second. Any more concession? Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you, Bill. Next again, presentation of citizens transportation program.
So we've come to the part of the meeting where I'm going to filibuster the entire meeting now. Today for your discussion and consideration is the Ike Transportation Program. We need to decide or the Board of County Commissioners needs to provide some direction today regarding what projects the county is going to support for the Ike Transportation Program funding. This is the pot of money that KDOT offers local consults on every year. The local consults comprise a large portion of the scoring for these projects. They have two for District 1, one's in Manhattan, or two in-person ones. One's in Manhattan and one will be located in Johnson County. We will attend both of those meetings, and then they have a virtual meeting as well. The projects are scored based on public input, and so any commissioner who wanted to attend those and support projects would be greatly appreciated.
Is that where you put the pins in?
No, that's a different one. This is the one where you have to stand up and kind of argue for a project. And
Oh,
everybody
okay.
takes
Like
a
you did
turn.
on Main Street. Okay,
I
gotcha.
presented the Eastern Gateway like 6 years ago. I think.
Okay.
One of those in Manhattan, I think.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what we did last year is we went to and how you become successful is you show that the communities have a collaborative effort. Lansing actually took a van down with several of their city council members and their public works director and their city manager. Every city except for maybe one had multiple representatives there, and then we spoke in conjunction. And Manhattan had a much smaller crowd, so it was easier to speak. And so we tried to speak multiple times, so that way they give us multiple points, and we scored very well in both.
I like that.
And they awarded the K5 projects. So looking at our regional transportation plan that was funded with KDOT and was unanimously supported by the Board of County Commissioners and every city council and the Port Authority at the time. We have the next projects on the list. The top four projects were the Eastern Gateway, the K5 project that's already been funded by KDOT, and the K7 projects for interchanges at Leavenworth Road and Fairmount Road, where the stoplights are located. In talking with the Secretary of Transportation over the past several years, I don't know that we have the governor's office from either state necessarily on board for the Eastern Gateway project. It is a bi-state project and involves tolling, and Missouri does not allow tolling as it was previously presented. They have steered us towards mega grant applications through the U.S. Department of Transportation and kind of away from the Ike Transportation Program on that project. We also have currently a I-70 KTA study that the city of Basel is working on to have a new interchange placed on the Turnpike at 158th Street or possibly 166th Street. The county has historically supported that. They applied for funding through the Mid-America Regional Council for that project or put it on a future project list. The That is not an Ike transportation project, even though it's often listed with the Ike transportation program. The Turnpike can't take any federal dollars, and it has to be self-supporting. And so that is an independent project that really isn't for consideration under the Ike transportation program. That project, the county had supported 158th Street. One, because Baser had used that location as their application 2 years ago for listing that project on the Connected KC 2050 plan. But two, because the infrastructure on either side of that interchange has been improved. You have the stoplight on the north end. KDOT's designing a roundabout on the south end of K32 to improve safety and hopefully reduce all the fatality accidents that occurred, and we have shoulders. If it is placed at 166th Street, we probably have $15 million worth of off-site improvements that need to be completed on local infrastructure to support the traffic that the new interchange would generate. So I spoke with multiple cities. We used to have a committee that met monthly or bi-monthly. It was an infrastructure committee. It was comprised of myself, a member of the Port Authority, and each city administrator or public works director represented each city. Since the completion of the regional transportation program and us receiving funding for the K5 project, that board more or less dissolved and has not been meeting. But I have spoke to them, and it seems to be kind of a consensus with some other projects sprinkled in that are more specific to each local jurisdiction. But the third and fourth projects that KDOT Regional Transportation Study funded were these two K7 projects. And I believe that they had the highest cost-benefit analysis of any of the projects that were in Leavenworth County. And Wyandotte County also, at the time, they do have a new public works director now, but at the last Ike transportation program, the unified government supported these projects as well. And so, open to any discussion, but we need some direction for staff today. If you support moving to these two K7 projects for interchanges, and we will go and do our best to argue for funding.
Two things, Bill. I think that committee was important. I sure like the committee. I thought that was important. I'd like to see that. In fact, Greg Cause stepped down yesterday, and he was a big player on the Transformation Committee, and I think that's an appointment by the city of Leavenworth. So, but your name was mentioned quite a bit on being able to help step up to the plate, and that's between you and Mark. They talk to you because they respect your opinion on which way some things we should be looking at going in that direction, because this is very important on how we select this. And also it's very important to show up at these things. That's the reason Lansing got that turn lane years ago, is because we went up to, was it Washington, Kansas, I think it was, and the governor and a few other people, and we had to present, but we took a bunch of people too. And we ended up second on that, and even when the economy was going bad, they still funded that. So what you're saying is absolutely true. But I think when you work with a group, with the other community, something like that, it just helps each other instead of standing alone all the time. That's just my opinion. Now, I know we need to look at it and see what our priorities are, and I'll leave that open to the commissioners.
When is that committee going to be reconvening?
Currently, it's completely suspended.
I'm saying we should get back together.
Okay.
Well, commissioners, I think, as Bill pointed out, the study was completed and there were projects listed. The K7 projects were number one, actually, as far as cost-benefit analysis. Yeah. But from a funding perspective, I think KDOT had kind of already committed to the K5, which was number two, I believe, cost-benefit analysis. So I would, for Bill's purpose for these meetings coming forward, I think it would make sense that we have a plan, kind of like the comp plan for the county. We have a plan. This committee took it, did the whole tour, went to all the cities, went to some of the other organizations, and we created this document that has these priorities. Yeah. So I think it would be okay for now to get, if the commission obviously supports that, to give Bill direction to support the K7 interchanges as when we go to these Ike meetings. And then we will work on reforming the committee to start basically reviewing the next plan, our next project.
Well, the Port Authority also mentioned about K5, letters of support, and they're going to be reaching out to the cities and the counties because they think that one can be moved up the plate. But bottom line is both these are on our plate. We need to take advantage of it if they're going to still sit that high.
Yeah, K5 is already underway. I mean, we know that's going to happen. I think I've heard some people have been supporting trying to get that moved up.
That's what
I would hate to promote that if it detracts from us getting funds for another project. But I don't. I mean, if they're ready to go, I don't see why they wouldn't go.
Well, that's what I was saying. I misspoke. It was to move up the timeline on that.
Yeah.
So that. Okay.
I spoke to KDOT about that, and they are under some funding constraints because the Ike Transportation Program, the way it was created, they have to spend certain percentages of monies in certain districts, and so they have to hit those goals in every district in the state of Kansas. And obviously, District 1 and whatever district Wichita's in gets the lion's share of the money, but they have to geographically distribute those projects in a certain manner, and so that plays into when these projects can be constructed. And so it is in the design pipeline, and I have spoken to Jeff McCarrow with Kimley Horn, who's the design engineer on that, and early winter, they're anticipating, or even late fall, they'll make the announcement here in probably the next 6 weeks. There will be public meetings because they will be releasing route maps of the potential routes of K5 to receive public input. Right now, that project, I think, is scheduled for 2031.
That's more than I knew. I appreciate that. Okay, comments? Anybody? Vanessa, you got anything? Jeff? Willie, you got anything else?
No.
Okay, are you looking for us to say these are the ones we want to stay with? That's what you're looking for, Mark?
Probably need that for these meetings.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Everybody okay with that?
I like to be brought up to date with Bill at some other time. Is that the project is very new to me, and I've had some conversations about it. So when you have time to bring
these
me
projects, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the beginning of that.
When you have time to sit down and bring me up to date on whatever needs to be done, because I know very, very little about it, just enough to be dangerous.
Yeah, well, anytime that you're available, Commissioner.
Okay, all
That's
right.
good. That's good.
We'll do.
Okay.
Might be worthwhile to also bring that study back that we did when it was the 5-county review or whatever.
Yeah,
So
it is the
circulate
regional
that so they
transportation
have it.
study. I think was a 500. It was a
Yeah.
very expensive study,
Yeah.
and it was in the total documents 195 pages. And so I'd be happy to walk you through the prioritization of the projects and kind of why they prioritize which project.
Bring you
Yeah.
much.
Just a couple of pages, not 190.
Nah, not the 195. We won't go through.
Thank you.
Yeah, just okay. So, Mark, we're looking to stay with what we've got. Is that what you're asking
Yeah,
us?
just follow the existing plan that was approved.
Any comments, commissioners?
Not at this time.
None now. I'm fine with it. That's what we decided on. Jeff, Vanessa, you okay? Okay. Yeah, we got that.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner.
That wasn't
Thank
too
you, Bill.
Wasn't too painful, was it?
The first part was. The last part was.
Thank you, Bill. Okay. We don't need an executive session, do we? And we've moved the work session 2 weeks. And Mike's question, y'all consider that. So unless I'm missing something again, which I tend to do, we're going to go around the table for any comments. Mr. Reed, you're first.
I'm going to follow up on my initial thoughts earlier about voter turnout. So
Okay.
I think as long as my numbers might not be exact, but I've done a little bit of talking to the clerk and then Googling the AI. So we'll see.
Okay.
So I
You have
think
confidence in you. Go ahead.
we might be missing maybe 5,000 adults 18 and over that, potentially live in Leavenworth County but aren't registered to vote here. But in 2023, which would have been the last school and city election, we only had a turnout of about 10,400 voters, which would be about 19%. This last, of course, it was a large election. This last November in 24 was much higher with 65.31%. But again, this year, this November, we're going to be looking at those city school board elections. So I would just encourage people to come out and vote for those things. When people talk about tax dollars, which seems to be the largest thing on everyone's mind, that's largely those elections and the people that sit on those boards. So if you're not turning out in those, then, it's also the future of the country with the kids. And how your city services run, whether it's trash or streets, a million things involved in that. So just encouraging people to come out to vote this November.
Absolutely. We do it every year, especially when we come and do the reports, and then we have to, of course, go over the accounts and relook at that. And presidential elections are always a large one, but there's been some elections at 9%, 10%, and it just doesn't take no time to come out and do it. I know some people are uncomfortable because they've never done it before. There's nothing to it. So don't be afraid to come out and cast your vote. We're counting on you to do that. Unless you have anything else? Jeff? Nope. I have nothing.
We've got this excuse me, this email from Leavenworth County Veterans
I forgot about that.
Parade Committee. This has not been decided as what we're going to do and how we're going to handle that.
Yeah. Mark, you want to go ahead and give a history on that?
Yeah. So, Commissioners, I did reach out to to Becky with the Veterans Parade group, and she was going to give me some numbers on what the rental is this year. In the past, what the commission has done is all the commissioners have just chipped in and covered one porta potty, I think one or two porta potties for them, depending upon the cost. It is not something that we budget for. It's just something that the commission.
I always like doing that too. Just the commissioners chip in with.
Once I get the amount from them, I will forward that to the Board of County Commissioners, and then typically we just give the money to Becky and then to our Becky, and then Becky from the parade group comes up and picks it up.
Yeah. I have no problem donating to that. Does anybody? But we can still do that when he brings it to us. That's how it's worked in the past.
Where do we find those dollars to do these things when we're under such budget constraints now?
This one, it's out of your pocket.
Yeah, this one.
So in the past, the commissioners have just opened up their billfolds and taken some money out and contributed to this. It does not come out of the county budget.
You know that big billfold you got, Willie? You're going to open it up. You have to open it up. Okay. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. Commissioner Reed?
Aye.
Aye. All righty. Good meeting. Thank you, folks.